Hey guys, it's Liz of Consume My Books, and this is what I got in my mailbox this week. My haul is both epic and ridiculous, so I'm just gonna dive right in and show you everything that I got because it was a totally awesome week. I did get a couple RAKs, Random Acts of Kindness. Ivy of Ivy's Update sent me Between Shades of Grey bookmark, which is awesome because I really love this book. It comes out Tuesday and you should all buy a copy and read it. It is heartbreaking but beautiful. She also sent me Desires of the Dead sticker, which I'll show you later. Jennifer of Extreme Reader Book Review sent me a copy of Ballads of Suburbia by Stephanie Keener, which I am super excited to read, so thank you very much, Jennifer. It's totally awesome. And she also sent an Angel Star bookmark and one of her business cards. And the last RAK I got this week is from Lori of Pure Imagination, Jellicoe Road, which is by Melina Marchetta. And I've just been pining for this one over the past couple weeks because I saw Amelia of Imagination in Focus posted her review and she loved it. And basically what most bloggers tend to say about this book is that the first 150 pages or so are really difficult to read and very confusing, but that the whole book is really beautifully written and that it's really worth the read. So I'm a little intimidated by it, I'll admit, by what everyone's saying, but I'm also excited because I hope I'll love it. So thank you very much, Lori. I was so excited when I got that. And I did buy a ton of books this week. I'll explain like the hows and whys and whatnot in a minute. But one thing I got is this little clutch from Etsy. And if you open it, has a little pocket for business cards, and that is my review notebook that I stuck in there. And I got this so I could kind of keep like little blogging things in here, and I will link to the Etsy shop where I got this. But it's really cool and it's really fun, so thank you to the Etsyans behind that lovely work. I bought a copy of Cold Comfort Farm, which is by Stella Gibbons. I believe that this is supposed to be parodying the work of Thomas Hardy, who's an author I actually have yet to read. But I have seen the movie for this, and it was really good and really funny. So I'm very excited to read this book. Next up, I got a copy of Winter Garden, which is by Kristen Hanna. My grandmother is actually a very avid reader, and she said that this book was really spectacular. She read it with her book club. And so I got a copy because it sounds really excellent. I also really want to read the author's book, Firefly Lane. So I'm very excited to get started on that one. We have The Moonstone, which is by Wilkie Collins. I just finished The Woman in White by this same author, so it'll be great to check out more of his work. Kind of continuing with the Victorian era, I got Bleak House, which is by Charles Dickens. I had been emailing my college advisor telling her that I was reading The Woman in White, and she said Bleak House was a good follow-up, so I picked up a copy. I've liked all of Dickens' other works that I've read. This sounds like more of a mystery and suspenseful type of read than his other stuff. So I'm excited to see how he does that. And I know I keep saying I'm excited about every book. Sorry about that. So a lot of you guys might have heard of the store Hicklebee's in California. I heard about it through Pam of Bookalicious, and I heard that there was an author signing there, so I ordered some books to have signed. Devil's Kiss by Sarwat Chadha, which just sounds like a really interesting concept. It's kind of about the Templars, and he signed it for me. Dear Liz, and then I kind of can't actually read what he wrote. Devo Vault? I don't know. If I figure it out between now and then, I'll add a little annotation in. But I'm very excited to have a copy of this because it looks really cool. And I also ordered Demon Glass, which is by Rachel Hawkins. And she signed it for Liz, Raise a Little Hell, Rachel Hawkins. I have yet to read Hex Hall. But the thing is that I talked to Rachel Hawkins on Twitter. She's always very cool and very nice and very funny. And I am really looking forward to reading Hex Hall. It's just a matter of my TBR is so big, it's not that I'm not excited to read it. And I had to get this book because the cover is so gorgeous. So I'm very much looking forward to reading those. And I had a Dark Days tour stop near me. I went to the stop that was in Roseville. I met up with tons of awesome bloggers. You'll see a write-up and a giveaway tomorrow, but I'm going to talk about what I got for myself. So I did pick up some swag. I got a Desires of the Dead bracelet and button. Pretty cool. And I also got bookmarks for Desires of the Dead and A Touch Mortal, and for the Dark Days of Supernatural tour. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, I haven't read any of Claudia Gray's books, so I decided to just get the first book in her series. I got Evernight, which she signed to Liz, Claudia Gray. She did a reading and it sounded like it would be pretty interesting. I like the concept, which is that these vampires go to school to kind of learn how to fit in and act like normal 16-year-olds, and I think that's really funny. I bought a finished copy of Angel Fire, which is by Courtney Allison Moulton, and I stuck my book plate in there. And also, she signed it for Liz, Never Let the Fire in Your Dreams Die. I am about 100 pages into this so far, and it's really spectacular. For some reason, I was dubious about it, even though I kept hearing great things. But I think the main character has a great voice. It's well written. It's engaging. It's a really great book so far. And, you know, it was great to be able to go to the signing and tell Courtney, oh, I'm like 60 pages into your book and I'm really enjoying it so far. So that was pretty cool. Next up, I got A Touch Mortal, which is by Leah Clifford. And I stuck a book plate in there that I picked up at the signing. And she wrote, To Liz, Stay Mortal, Leah Clifford. I don't feel like I've seen too many reviews of this one, actually, but I think the concept sounds really cool, so I'm looking forward to reading it. The passage she read sounded really cool, I thought. And I actually already owned this one, but I got my copy of The Body Finder by Kimberly Durning signed. She wrote, To Liz, What is Your Echo? I just read this one, and my review should be up sometime in the coming week. And I bought a copy of Desires of the Dead, also by Kimberly Durning, and I stuck my sticker from Ivy in there. Thank you, Ivy. And she wrote, To Liz, Echoes Never Die. It sounds like there is a lot of character growth in this one and development, so I'm really excited to see what direction the story takes in that respect, because characters were kind of one of my issues with The Body Finder, as you'll see in my review soon. So, looking forward to reading this and seeing where it all goes. And, okay, so this last pile of books, Aaliyah of Pop Culture Junkie and I went to the Borders that is closing down in St. Paul. I actually recommend going if you're in the area because they still have a pretty decent selection, including in the YA area. So yeah, Aaliyah and I were there to kind of egg each other on, which may not have been so good for our purchasing because, as you'll see, I came out with quite the pile of books, which I have to drag over here. Okay, this first one I'm a little dubious about. 9 Rules to Break When Romancing a Rake by Sarah McLean. I've never been a reader of adult romance before, but every blogger I know keeps saying that this book is really great. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. I just kind of opened it to a random passage and it just like made me giggle. I don't know. We'll see how I do with it. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be something I review here. I got a copy of The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. I've been thinking that I should reread Huck Finn, but I thought that if I should read Huck Finn, then I should read this one too. So I'm excited to have a copy of each of them. And be able to read this for the first time and reread Huck Finn. Next up, I get a copy of The Dust of 100 Dogs, which is by A.S. King. How much do you love this cover? Like, can you tell there's a girl sitting there and she's got a little pirate ship? I just think that is so awesome. So this is A.S. King. Her most recent book, Please Ignore Vera Dietz, won a Prince Honor this year. And I'm just really excited to read this one. It's about pirates, and that sounds completely awesome. I got a copy of 16, which is by Julia Carr. This is a dystopian novel, and it sounds very, very creepy, but also very good. So I hope that that's actually the case. I also got a separate piece, which is by John Knowles. I feel like this is kind of a staple in the YA world, and I haven't read it somehow. So it'll be good to check that one out. Next up is Sunshine by Robin McKinley with the pretty cover. I have not read this one. A lot of bloggers have, and they say it's pretty good. I think I'm gonna have to read sunglasses when I wear this book, because this cover is just blinding. I love it. I've read a couple of Robin's other books, or maybe just one. I know I read Beauty, and I have Spindle's End on my shelf somewhere, and I need to read that. And I also got a copy of The Secret Year, which is by Jennifer Hubbard. I read this book in the summer of 2010, and I really enjoyed it. Also, look at this back cover. Isn't that pretty? I think this is a big improvement over the hardback cover, because the hardback cover, because it was a little bit bland in my opinion. So I'm excited to own my own pretty copy of this book. We have The Monstrumologist, which is by Rick Yancey. I'm a little dubious about this one, but I keep hearing that it's really good, and everything at the whole store was at least 40% off. Some stuff was 50% off. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. So I have my own copy. Next up, I got The 13 Treasures, which is by Michelle Harrison. And this is actually a fairy book. I had my eye on this one for a while, and I had to get it because the cover is so pretty, and it was really cheap. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. I think it's more middle grade, but it looks very cute, I think. Very fun. And the last book in this haul is I Shall Wear Midnight, which is by Terry Pratchett. It's a Tiffany Aching book. I wasn't necessarily planning on buying the hardcover of this book, because I have a bunch of Pratchett that I still need to read, and I feel like I should read some of his books that I have before I buy more. But I think this is a cool cover, and I like the title, and it was way on sale, so with all of that in mind, it was very hard to say no. So, that is everything that I got in my mailbox this week. I should probably stop talking because I've blathered for quite a while, and my dog is lying outside my door expecting her walk. But I want to hear about what you guys got, so leave your links down below. Happy reading and have a great week. Bye.